Welcome to the Human Anatomy Study Tools Workshop. My name is Mary Cabral, and I'm the Health Sciences Library here at Clarkson University. When studying anatomy, it's useful to explore and utilize a variety of resources and types of resources to find what works best for you, what fits your learning style. There's a lot available. You might use text, both ebooks and books in print. We have a variety of flashcards. There are a lot of really neat and interesting online platforms with 3D tools. There's also a lot of video content out there that you can use to study. So I've put together an anatomy resources guide on the library's website that brings a lot of this together, so you don't have to go looking for it. Some of it is free content, and some of it is on platforms that Clarkson subscribes to on the behalf of students and faculty. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go directly to the website. You want to start from the library's website, and from clarkson.edu, the homepage. You can get there either by scrolling all the way down and clicking on University Libraries, or if you're on the intranet, oops, it's going to ask me to log in. Then you can go from quick links right directly to the libraries. Once you're there, I recommend, there are two ways to get to the anatomy guide. You can click on Health Sciences Library, and on any of the Health Sciences Library pages, in the left-hand column is the Human Anatomy Guide. You could also navigate to it from Research Tools and Collections under Research Guides, and it will be in that list as well. So let's just go there. Just going to do a broad overview, and then we'll get into some detail. At the top, I start off with some of the most useful, which are the online tools, 3D and virtual interactive learning, complete anatomy and anatomy and physiology revealed being, I think, the most in-depth with interactiveness. There's a whole list, and there's a series of videos that are useful. We have a selection of anatomy texts, ebooks, and print. And then all the way down, you can navigate to other media. So we're going to now work from the bottom up as I get into it, and I'm going to, we'll save the complete anatomy for the last so that I can show you a lot of the detail on that, because I think that that's if you're studying in the cadaver lab, that will be the thing that is the most useful for you, I think. So we do have a model skeleton located on both campuses in each library. The one in the Health Sciences Library is annotated and comes with a list to match so that you can study. I'm sorry to say that because of the COVID epidemic that we're not allowing that to be checked out this semester, but in future scenarios, we hope that when there isn't as much risk of transmission, then we can be able to let the skeleton be checked out. We have a variety of flashcards. These are boxed sets. They're very popular. They're easy to use. You can check them out the same way you would a book by connecting to the catalog. You can find out where they are. You can send me a request. If you hit resource delivery request, it'll let me know that you'd like it, and I can either set it up for you for pickup, or I can send it to your campus mailbox or residential address. Same with books in print. We have a lot of anatomy books in print. I think Trail Guide to the Body is one that is often used and often required. These, again, if you click on any one of these covers, it will bring you to the online catalog record of it. You can see that it lives on the shelf in the Health Sciences Library. And again, for this semester, you can select resource delivery request, and that prompts you to fill in a request form. There we go, it looks like this. You let us know where you'd like to pick it up, or if you want it mailed to a preferred address that you can note in the item description. So those are worth exploring. When you check out a book from the library, you can keep it for the entire semester. Unless someone else requests it, then we might recall it to share it out. A lot of ebooks. You don't have to be in the library to be able to explore these. Gross anatomy, clinical anatomy. The gross anatomy is sits on the Access Physiotherapy platform. And there are a couple of neat features about the ebooks that are on this platform. You can, obviously sort through the table of contents and go to any particular section, or you can search within the book to find what you're looking for. For any of the text, you can listen to the audio. So if you're getting a bit of screen fatigue from being on the computer all day, then maybe you can take some notes while you listen to it. You can print different sections. And then if you end up using it in a paper or something, you can get the citation will give you the exact citation that you need. When there are figures, you can take a look near the bottom. It says view full size, and then that will expand it on your screen so that some of that small type becomes much more readable. These books, the ebooks, whether they sit on the Access Physio platform, or I think this clinical anatomy book sits on a ProQuest platform. We'll take a quick look at that. You do not have to download it. You can read it online. You can read it from anytime, as long as you need. As many people who want to look at these ebooks at any one time can. We'll just take a quick look at this. You navigate it similarly through the table of contents. You can print PDF pages. Sometimes that is not just for reading the text, but maybe there's an image in one of the pages that you would find very useful to have in print for studying. So that is useful. Any of these platforms, the ProQuest platform or the Access Physiotherapy platform, it's worthwhile creating an account. So on Access, you can see there's a sign in here. In ProQuest, there's a sign in or sign out. I'm already logged in to this one. And what that allows you to do is keep things on a virtual bookshelf. Here you can see you can highlight, you can bookmark. Similarly to here, you can save it to, if you log in here, there is a favorites file. So you don't have to go searching for it each time. The other thing on the Access Physio platform in this book is that you can create quizzes for yourself. If I go back to the home page of this book where we see the full table of contents, you can see that it says go to review questions. And if I go in there, it's going to prompt me to log in. Actually, oh yeah. Here we go. Once I start to create a random quiz, I won't log in, I won't take the time to do that. But why it does that is it keeps track of the questions that you've set for yourself and how you've answered them, so you can go back and review those. You can say how many questions would you like them to be about certain sections, and then you can start the quiz. The Gross Anatomy book is not the only book on the Access Physio and Access Medicine web platforms that you can do these quizzes with. They are, I think, a useful study tool. We have other ebooks. If you search our online catalog, you may find others that are useful. I think that these are going to be the most foundational texts that you might use. Also, these study charts. They're less text and more pictures. If you are to take a look at any of them, just click the picture. Again, it's on this ProQuest ebook platform, and when you open it up to read online, I want you to see that it's not just this one diagram. For this particular one, which is on just the hand, you can see that the table of contents outlines a number of different views with the different labels. So whatever it is in particular that you're studying, you might find something here. And again, these pages can be printed if that is easier for you, or you can just set this aside on your virtual bookshelf once you sign in and go to it as often as you would like. All right, let me just close tabs so that I'm not wandering around too much in there. So that's under the anatomy texts. Then under the section of 3D and virtual interactive learning and videos, the videos I'm not gonna open any of them. Pretty much these mostly sit on YouTube channels these have been recommended by different faculty or teachers or sometimes former students who have found things useful. If you find a video channel that on one of these on this topic that you think would be really useful to add to this list, send me an email and let me know. My contact information is here. And I can add it so that this platform can serve as, the most useful portal for you, having all of the things that you want to use for studying anatomy in one place. That's whether you're a health sciences graduate student or an undergrad biology student having to take gross anatomy, either way. So under the 3D and virtual interactive learning, again, we're working from the bottom up, so I'm going to hit complete anatomy last because there's so much there that I want to share with you. But there are, so Muscle Atlas I like a lot. These are graphic diagrams, not photo diagrams, for any particular muscle. Here it gives you right away the origin and the insertion, the action, the innervation, the arterial supply, and then a short description of it. And so it's a great place for a really quick study. So each entry is similar. Under Lumen Learn, looks a little silly, Lumen Learn M. You can explore any of them. The one I like most here is the Lumen Learn Bone Box. Again, it's quite simple for any that you might pick. There are photos of the actual bones, and when you click the numbered labels, it just tells you, it's an identification tool only, really. So if you're trying to do some memorization, then maybe this would be something that would be helpful. Inner body, I'm not going to touch base on all of these. You should feel free to go explore. I like for its simplicity in laying out the different body systems. And then when you get into them, you get to the details. Again, it's mostly an identification tool with description. Clicking on any of these magnifying glasses expands the information about that particular area. The others that are listed up here, human anatomy tours and human anatomy models, those both sit on the subscribed site Access Medicine. So this is through Clarkson. And they are somewhat interactive. If we just take a look and we'll open it up. Oh, it's asking me to sign in. We are subscribed. Not quite sure why it's not letting me in there at the moment. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to resolve that just at the moment. Okay, it's asking me for log in there. After we subscribe to it, so it should be asking you for a login right away. That's different than when you create an account. I will resolve that. I was on it just earlier today. The irony of it, but it has. You can't manipulate the model so much, but it's a viewable model that you can look at various perspectives and get identification of them. Similar are the human anatomy tours that focus in on a specific either system or organ or reproductive system, urinary system, the heart. And so again, there are some video tours through those, and it gives you more detail. The other here is Anatomy and Physiology Revealed, and it sits on our Access Physiotherapy site. You don't have to remember where they are, just that we have them, and that you can you can connect to them all from this Human Anatomy resource guide. So Anatomy and Physiology Revealed is really kind of neat. When you get to it, you launch it from the bottom here. And then what you have to do is you have to select a module, And so this is selecting, you know, skeletal versus muscular nervous, whatever particular system that you want to look at. I'll select muscular. My course content is usually blank. That's if one of your profs has crafted course content and loaded it there. But all you have to do is click the all content and select a topic. So if we look at, you know, any one particular place, asks you, so you've selected the module, the content, the topic, and then the view. And then this is, we get this. And here's where you can manipulate it. You can slide these radio buttons, and you can see how it removes the layers as we go. If I click the top of that radio button, it gives me these pins, which are identifying points. And if I click on any one of them, it gives me the information for it. Again, because I'm in the muscle section, it's giving me the origin and the insertion, the innervation. It will tell you, it will read the, there you go. If you have any kind of a verbal exam and you want to really know how to pronounce, it has the audio pronunciation. Come back. Again, you know, we can go all the way down on the different layers, get right to the skeleton. Again, you know, we can have these points with the information here. You can do some manipulation here. You can change, this is just customizing, you know, what color do you want the highlighter to be, showing the highlight or not. You can move it around a little bit and zoom in. You can take a photo and once you do that. This is in, you'll see this is a scalpel, it's I think an icon of a scalpel. This is in the dissection mode. See, there's a 3D mode. And it's taking some time. On a slower connection, which I'm at home, that does take some time, so I'm not going to load that. Suffice to say, it's useful, but I'm just going to have you wait because complete anatomy is, here we go, so much more. Okay, so this is where you can start manipulating it. This is the 3D mode. And you can zoom in by scrolling up, scrolling on your mouse. You can reset it, you can get the labels, get all the naming. So this is a good way to maybe take a look. This, I want to come back to here. I want to really back out of this a little bit. What I wanted to do, this I think it's supposed to be a microscope here. And this is the histology. And then this is a neat thing, this little check mark is creating a quiz for yourself. Again, I'm recommending that idea of quizzing yourself as a way to study. And again, when you click on that, you then again go into your module and you go to all content and you select your topic, and then you select your view, and then, whoops. Anyway, then you can do, we went back into dissection for a moment there. The check mark goes into the quiz mode. Again, you have to go into all content, and you can set it up by just navigating through those. There we go. This is better. Let's do structures. Number of questions. You can see I'm answering these, and then you take the quiz. So what structure is highlighted? I could not tell you. I don't know if you know that yet. Someday you will have to know that, perhaps, depending on how much anatomy you study. But you can see, you know, we'll just pick one. I did not get that right. We go to the next question and the next until then you end the quiz. So you can do that in any of these modules on any of the systems. So that's kind of a neat thing. And maybe you create a quiz and you send it to your partner to, here you can send a link to it, create a link for your quiz, and you can send it to someone else to take if you're doing some partnered studying. Okay, so that is anatomy and physiology revealed. A lot of kind of cool things in there for the memorization and getting some of the details down. So I finally do want to go to, I know I haven't spent a lot of time in any one thing, but I think it's mostly, I want you to know where all of these are, and then, you'll pick and choose what works best for you and then get into the details. The Complete Anatomy, 3D for Medical. It's an interactive and advanced comprehensive 3D anatomy software, and it is new to Clarkson, so this is the first semester that we have had a subscription to it. So I am still learning it, but I'm going to give you an introduction to it. If you go, this links you to a couple of links. It's kind of a hassle to get it set up. It's not hard, but there's a bunch of links, but you only have to do that one time. You can set this up. It's an app, tells you what it is. You have to download the app, and there are you can either do, it's for Mac or for Windows. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your iPad or a tablet. There are Android versions of it also. So you download it and get it to your computer or your device. And then when you come down here and click this Access and Activation. And when you click that, if you have not logged into Clarkson's site, it will ask you to, and then depending on whether you're a student or a faculty member, it gives you a redemption code. Okay, and so then you go into the app that you've already downloaded and you register in the app, and it will ask you if you have a redemption code, and you put that in, and that's the key to getting through the door to say I'm coming from a place that's already paid for access. I think that you can mess around in the app without a subscription, but it's really limited. So that's how you're going to have to do it. So you get it registered, you get it all set up. You can have it on as many devices as you would like, but you can only have 2 of those devices, have it live on 2 of them at any one time. So I have downloaded the app, and I have it on my computer here, and it gives me this little icon, and I've already launched it because when you first open it up, and this stumped me the first couple of times I did it, just comes up with the 3D Complete Anatomy. It's a image of a half dissected body with showing muscles and things like that. And it sits there for a while. So if you encounter that, just know that it's a little bit slow to load. But once it gets itself together and it loads, you will see this, and this is your platform here. Okay. A number of things to explore here. I'm going to go directly to models because I think that that's the thing you're going to use the most. So the one that comes up first, I do not want to restore my previous session. I'm going to stay out of that. Is the skeletal model. And if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that you can turn on or off the various systems. So connective tissues here, I might add those. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. You can move the model around by, if you either using the arrows on your keyboard or using your mouse, or if you have it on a tablet, you can use your fingers on a touchpad, or you might have a touch screen on your laptop. If you click on the left part of your mouse, you can rotate it in a number of ways. If you right click, that allows you to move it just up and down without rotating it. If you use the wheel, you can zoom in. So I'm zooming in a little bit so that you can see I added the connective tissues. I can add muscular. If you click once, it gives you 1 layer. You keep clicking, it shows you the different layers, right? And then you can explore them. It depends, leave it wherever it is that you want to focus in on your study. The arterial is kind of cool. When you add that, it adds the heart. And you'll see that it actually has this animated beating heart. If that drives you nuts, you can just, I think if you click on it once, it will stop it. Maybe it's twice. Still beating. Okay, well, that's good. We've got a nice healthy model here. This is a good moment to say, under this tips, it tells you how to manipulate these things. Some of the things that I'm showing you and more on that, and we'll look at that in a moment. I'm going to take the arterial off for a moment so that I can simplify the model just a little bit as I'm showing you. So again, on or off, we've got the venous system, lymphatic, nervous, respiratory, digestive, endocrine, urogenital, and integumentary. I said that correctly. But I'm going to just leave it on muscular for now so that I can, we're going to just go in a little bit and take a look. So for any one muscle, if I, oops, it's easy to move this thing around. I'll add a little more muscle here. If I have any first-year PT students, I know that you're going to be doing a case that involves a hamstring. I don't know if that, I don't think I have that showing, but we'll be in the general area. For anything that I click on, so it highlights it, and then it gives me this whole left-hand column with the quick facts about it, right? And you can read all about it. Again, the insertion, the action, the innervation, the arterial supply, origin, all of the information that you need for that muscle. Actions and testing. And what I like about this a lot is that then it gives you references. So if you wanted to go find, this is out of Gray's Anatomy, the anatomical basis of clinical practice. So it gives you the whole citation for where the information is coming from. And so you could go to the source if you wanted to, but it's all there. And then it's a little hard to see. All of these things are a little bit tiny, but I can show you that for whatever it is you're highlighting, you can either choose to fade it because you don't want to see that, or you can fade the things around it, all the other things, and so that pops up a little bit more. You can hide with that one thing, which takes it right out, or you can hide all the others and have just that. So you can, or you can isolate it, which, you know, just gives you that one section that we have highlighted here. And then we bring it right back. Along this row, notice that, you know, there's more things here than you can see. You have to drag it with your mouse. We're on the basic info. Cross sections it shows you. So you can choose any cross sections as if it's done that, right? And so then you get to see things on a cellular level. Motion, what's the motion of it? If you do this, it's going to do a little video here. I like this, especially if you're studying kinesiology. So let this be a resource beyond your gross anatomy class as you continue your studies. Then it shows you all of these parts that make that happen. I'm going to get us back to our, here we go. That was the motion. This is where I can change models. This adds nerves, arteries around in that section that feed it, okay? Treatments, conditions, exercise for it, stretches. So there's, you know, kind of like this, it shows you a little video of an exercise that utilizes that particular muscle that we have highlighted. I found here, you can slow it down or you can speed it up. So that's useful, and you can make it a little bit bigger if you need. Okay, I'm going to come back here again to that. There are other things you can do. Over here on the right-hand side under Tools, you can put labels on things, so you can annotate your screen, right? And why that's useful is then you can save your screen. So maybe you've got a very particular muscle, and this is your way of taking notes right here on the screen. There's a pen in which you can, you know, draw things or write things. You can add labels, and all you have to do is click where you want them, and it creates the label. You can add your own label. You can add a text box that says something about it. Maybe you put your notes in there. They're cutting, this is cutting tools, like if you were to this cuts it. I don't know if it cuts out a section or if it indicates, this is where my, a little bit of my lack of use of it, not lack of, but I'm new to this. So the cutting and the, I think, here we go, let me do it. Not quite. well, we can learn that together, learn more about how to cut it. You can simulate a fracture somewhere. We'll make it this, let's make this bigger. It's not letting me make it bigger here, okay. There we go. Okay, I need to do a little more learning on how to properly get those tools to work, but I will. So if you later want to know how to do that, by the time you get to me, I will have figured that out. You can simulate growths anywhere. You can simulate spurs. You would do that on a bone, I guess. And then there are, you can simulate pain in an area. And then, you can import this, you can create the slide, you can save it. So I'm gonna get out of here because I'm messed this guy up a lot. All right, I'm gonna go home for a moment. There we go, we're kind of back. What I don't know how to do, to be honest, is if there's like an erase tool. Well, there's an undo tool. There we go. That is erase, right? Or not quite. I can change my models here. If I click on models, I can, we've been looking at the full body, but I can look at just specific sections of detailed, there's gross anatomy, and then there's detailed models of specific areas and organs. Let's go to, I think that what's happening is I did that cut section. I think that my internet is just slow. Come on. There we go. We have head and neck. Let's scroll, make it bigger. Right click to move it down. Okay, here we go. This is how we can move it around. Make it bigger. And this is where, you can move things around so you can really take a look at, how things are connected and what they are like in relation to each other. Sorry, hope I'm not making anyone dizzy. Okay, and now, my apologies, my flinging around with my mouse has sent the model off the screen. I think you understand, what I'm showing you there. Again, here are those quick facts and the different ways that you can take a look at it. So that's exploring models, and there's so much here, okay? Let's go back home for a moment. Oh, we go home to this model, the region, the head and the neck, going all the way back. If I click on, hub, brings me back here, which is useful. And I'm going to go to Atlas and courses in a moment, but I'm coming back to models because that's where on the screen I can get this tips. And if you click on that, beyond what I'm showing you here, there's so much more in terms of, even if they're all short videos on getting started, how to navigate, using the model, bones, parts, surfaces, all of the different things. They're all like maybe 1.5 to 2 minute videos, depending on what it is. How to search. So we were exploring from the lists, but over here there's a search, and you can search for exactly the thing that you want to go explore and take a look at and study. We can do that in a moment. Yeah, there's 46 different. So this tells you how to use the model. A couple of the things I've shown you. Okay, so again, if you want to review some of the things I've said here, or want to get, and obviously get a lot more, then that's under this, under tips, and picking the section that you want more information about. Here's that search function where I could look for a certain muscle. Okay, it does that Google type thing of recommending. Do you really mean? Yes, I do. So there, I searched the piriformis muscle. This, like the Access Physio, has the audio to help you understand how to pronounce the muscle, the name. And all of those different functions, again, show up. So that's just another way of navigating to what you want to search. I'm going to come back to this hub and show you a couple of things. On the left-hand side, you'll see these horizontal lines, and if you click on them, it shows you the recent things that you've looked at. So if you've been working on something and you want to go back to it, it will be here. Then under Atlas, I had to look this up. There's a way to set up quizzes for yourself in this also. So we'll go to the Atlas. Here we go. And this is where you can, it's set up. So you can go look for these things or isolate them from the full model. But here they've already set up a whole library of very specific things that you can hone in on. But if you're on Atlas and you go under Filter, you get these radio buttons, and you click on Quizzes. You can view content. There we go. Okay, these are the quizzes. Okay, and so then you can click on any one of them. Here we go. And here's the start the quiz, right? And I have someone else teaching a class downstairs in my house, and so the internet is a little overloaded. Okay, yeah, so here's what the quiz looks like, and so you can skip or work through the questions. And this is just yours, right? Because you've had to download the individual app, you've had to log in as you, and so this is just this will retain the information, the models that you set up, the quizzes that you take, and so sometimes taking a quiz is, again, I'm a little repetitive on the quiz thing on studying, because then you can find out where your gaps are, right? And then you hone in and focus on those areas where perhaps you exhibited some trouble. So there we go. A couple of clicks to get back here. And I think those were the main parts. I know I kind of went through it a little quickly for how much is here. There are some courses that are set up, but I found that I was not able to access some of those. There are some free content for any one of them. If they're freely available, then when you click on the lectures, it tells you what it's about, and then come back here. I think when you click the more. Nope. Click the lectures. Nope. Okay, I'll figure that out. I won't have you sit here with me. Again, thanks for being patient with my learning curve on this. I have had one hour tutorial with the vendor reps for this product, and they clearly really know their way around. If anyone is interested, the vendor rep did do a teaching session for the health sciences faculty. I have a recording of that. It's about an hour and a half long. I can make that available to you. I can send it to you in email if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of what they taught. But you can also, jump into it on your own, take a look from that tips and do some of the brief ones. And I think, I'm someone who learns by doing, but with a tool like this, there are a lot of bells and whistles that are worth really understanding. So I'm going to stop there. I think that there we go.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please do. I'm trying to get my participants here. Okay, go ahead.
I saw when you opened it up, it asked you if you wanted to continue your last session. Is there a way to save kind of what you did or what you looked?
I think there is. If we're in here, let me take a look. Let's go back here for a moment. Yeah, you can save the screen, but I think that it always keeps, when you're in your hub, under there, it shows the recent things that you've done.
Oh, okay.
Right? This is now showing me all of the things I did today. You know, and I've logged out and I've logged back in a couple of different times today. And this was me exploring and making sure I half knew what I was talking about with it. And, yeah, and just having fun with it too. It's kind of cool. So there's that. We could, let's go, I'm opening models just so we can go to this tips and look under, see if there's something in here that tells us. But yeah, you can learn how to cut and dissect, applying a fracture, those things that I wasn't doing quite so well. Labeling, text box, sort and fill. Oh, saving a screen, that seems pretty easy. Making a purchase. I think it just keeps them unless you save a specific screen.
Okay, thank you.
I will take a look. I will double check that. I'll go look on the platform's site, not here, but their help pages, and see if it gives us a little bit, if it gives us, says anything different.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have questions about either complete anatomy? I know that that's probably what you're going to spend the most time in terms of studying, especially for your gross anatomy class, but any of the other resources? Anything? Okay. Remember that this is not the only time to ask questions. Feel free to email me. Coming back to the Health Sciences Library, all of my contact information is there. I'm right here. This is my email address. It's better to email me than phone because that's my office phone number, and it does forward me an email if you leave a voicemail message, but I'm only going to be there 1 day a week this particular semester because of the unusual circumstances. I'm usually always there, but also down here, under HSL, Health Sciences Library hours, you can, my email again, but also you can schedule a meeting with me. If you click schedule a meeting, it pops up my calendar and you can suggest a meeting. You don't have to email me and we find a time. It will find an open time on my calendar and it will send me, it'll send you and I both a link to our Google calendars that way. So, okay. Anything else? Elena, did you have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
We're good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. I look forward to connecting with you again if you have questions. I am going to keep the post the recording of this. I'm going to stop recording. Here we go.